Welcome back to the Fantasy Price Check. Today we're going to be talking about Deebo Samuel. Just to let you know what we're doing on the channel, we are taking a look at player ADPs and we are grading them based upon whether a player is overpriced, underpriced, or fairly priced. We're going to be doing price checks like these all season long leading up to draft, so I want you to click that subscribe button. By subscribing to this channel, you will hashtag win the draft. Let's get into Deebo Samuel. According to Fantasy Pros, Deebo Samuel is currently being drafted in the middle of the 6th round as a wide receiver 29 off the board, and according to Fantasy Football Calculator, Deebo Samuel is currently being drafted in the middle of the 5th round as a wide receiver 23 off the board. Deebo Samuel is currently being drafted right after AJ Green, Terry McLaurin, and DJ Chark, and ahead of Jarvis Landry, Michael Gallup, and Tyler Boyd. Here's what Deebo Samuel did in his rookie year. He had 81 targets for 57 receptions, 802 receiving yards, 6 total touchdowns, 3 receiving, 3 rushing, and 159 rushing yards. In Deebo's rookie season, we saw flashes of his talent and versatility, and I'm expecting even bigger things from Deebo Samuel in year 2. With Emmanuel Sanders leaving in free agency, that opens up things for Deebo Samuel to be the #1 wide receiver on the 49ers. However, you're talking about a low volume passing offense, and he's still the #2 target behind George Kittle. The 49ers had the second lowest passing percentage in the league after the Ravens. They were passing the ball just 48.6% of the time. What I like to see about Deebo Samuel is that he really got going in the second half of the year. In 3 of his final 8 games, he had over 100 yards. He had 2 monster games in weeks 10 and 11. In week 10, he had 11 receptions for 112 yards, and in week 11, he had 10 receptions for 134 yards. In half-point PPR, Deebo Samuel finished as a wide receiver 29. However, from weeks 9 to 17, Deebo Samuel was a wide receiver 14 in points per game among all receivers playing at least 2 games. From weeks 9 to 17, Deebo Samuel had more points per game than Kenny Golladay, Amari Cooper, Cooper Kupp, Keenan Allen, Allen Robertson, Courtland Sutton, and Mike Evans. Deebo Samuel was getting it done. His 16-game pace based upon his final 8 games would be 100 targets, 70 receptions, 1,093 receiving yards, 217 rushing yards, and 7 total touchdowns. There's so much that I love about Deebo's game. His catch rate of 70% ranks 5th behind Michael Thomas, Tyler Lockett, Chris Godwin, and Kenny Stills. And he's a monster in getting yards after the catch. He had 473 yards after the catch, which was 13th in the NFL, 1st among rookies, and 5th among wide receivers after Michael Thomas, Chris Godwin, Robert Woods, and Cooper Kupp. He's also great at breaking tackles. He had 7 broken tackles last year, which ranks 7th in the league behind A.J. Brown and Chris Godwin. And he was tied for 1st in forced missed tackles with Deontay Johnson. I also like how the 49ers used Deebo Samuel in the rushing game. Deebo Samuel had 3 rushing touchdowns on top of his 3 receiving touchdowns. He had a total of 14 rushing attempts for 159 rushing yards. That gives him the 3rd most rushing attempts after Curtis Samuel and Robert Woods. And his 159 rushing yards was the 2nd most by a rookie wide receiver since 2000, trailing only Tyreek Hill. Those rushing numbers are a nice boost to his stats and gives him extra juice as your wide receiver too. And I just love the style of Deebo's play. He reminds me a little bit about DJ Moore. When the ball is in his hands, he is like a running back. Another similarity to DJ Moore is when they broke out during their rookie season. DJ Moore broke out in the last half of his rookie year, just like Deebo Samuel, and DJ Moore went on to dominate during his 2nd year in the league. I currently have Deebo Samuel ranked as my wide receiver 19. As a wide receiver 49 off the board, that is incredible value. Deebo Samuel is underpriced. I'm expecting at least 1,100 total yards and at least 7 touchdowns. With those numbers, Deebo Samuel will have top 15 upside. Get Deebo Samuel on your team in round 5 or round 6. Guys, if you like what we're doing on the channel, I want you to smash that like button and click subscribe. We're going to be doing these ADP price checks all season long leading up to drafts. And if you want to check out other wide receiver price checks that we've done in the past, I'm going to throw up a playlist at the top of your screen, so be sure to check those out. I'll see you guys on the next one.